us now is Wall Street Journal tech columnist and CNBC contributor Joanna Stern. Joanna, give us your big picture reaction to this name change, the big event last week. What should we take this all to mean about what Facebook, Meta, is going to be all about in the next 5 or 10 years?
I will, but I get a pass for calling it Facebook, right? On my first appearance, now that it's called Meta, I'm very worried I'm going to be confusing the names. But yes, to me, I watched this presentation last week, and all I could see was Mark Zuckerberg wanting to go after Tim Cook's head, or literally the headset business, and how it's going to evolve in the next 5 to 10 years. And to me, Mark Zuckerberg and the future of Meta is all about controlling that hardware and operating system combo, because we are seeing the results right now of them not being able to do that, specifically on the iPhone, and the impact of the app ad tracking transparency decision, and the fact that more and more people are not opting into tracking, and that is hitting Facebook's bottom line. So if you're building on the future, you're thinking, I've got to control this hardware, and I've got to control this operating system, and I've got to control this thing called the metaverse.
Yeah, Joanna, Zuckerberg made a not-so-veiled dig at Apple and Tim Cook when he said, we are going to be subsidizing these headsets. We're going to be charging no or low fees. We're going to be doing this at cost so we can help drive the growth of this ecosystem. And we want to be a kinder, gentler kind of platform. So I wonder what you make of that. And with that in mind, if they are going to be really eating these costs, at what point Meta can really start making money on this new platform?
No, totally. And that dig makes a lot of sense, right? Because that's how Meta, I almost said Facebook. I'm really trying here. They have been positioning themselves previously, right? Is this high cost, expensive gadget walled garden ecosystem, right? Because that's Apple. You need to have a lot of money to buy the iPhone, to buy the Macs, to buy the iPads. And that will probably continue to be Apple's strategy, right? And probably it will be. That is what has made Apple so successful. Meta is saying, no, we're going to foot that bill. We're going to have all sorts of other ways of subsidizing, obviously ads being one of the major ones. And that is going to make the metaverse more accessible to everyone. To me, the big question is, why do people want to be in the metaverse? And I am not sure anyone knows the answer to that yet.
Yeah, Joanna, on behalf of investors, I am highly skeptical, because has Facebook ever made a great piece of hardware? Like, there's a generation of tech companies out there, Facebook, Amazon, Google, who think they're hardware companies because they make a bunch of hardware that they subsidize with other businesses. And for a while, like, Amazon was even trying to dig at Apple, saying, oh, well, we like to make money when people use our stuff. We don't want to charge a lot. It's good that Apple can charge a lot for its hardware. It's because people like it, and that's why the stock price is so high. I mean, isn't it kind of weird that there are all these companies acting like they're going to be hardware companies when I don't know if they've ever made a great piece of hardware?
I totally agree with you, John. I think the difference here is that they had acquired a great hardware company, or the start of a great hardware company in Oculus, right? And so in the Oculus space, in the headset space, really no one is doing what Facebook or Meta has been doing. The headset is superior. Yes, the cost is also superior, right? It's not as expensive as a high-end HTC or PlayStation headset. So that has allowed Meta to really hit into this consumer space. Again, come back to that question, what are we doing with these headsets on? But I totally agree with you on the hardware end. I mean, they've done the glasses now. They've done these Ray-Ban glasses. They've done the portals. Those are decent hardware, but ultimately they're not the sort of caliber that we've seen from a Apple or even a Samsung.
Joanna, a lot of people are making the point that Facebook Meta, don't conflate Facebook Meta with the metaverse. They are building for the metaverse, which is larger than just Facebook Meta. I wonder who you think is going to be next to sort of pile on and say, we're building for it too.
I think all the big tech companies are going to say they're going to build on. I'm not sure they're going to use the word metaverse. I think this is a semi-nerdy term, and also sort of dystopian for the people that know what it is. I think you're going to have all of the big tech giants saying, we are also building for this, right? Whether it's AR or VR, mostly AR. We know Apple's working on it. We pretty much know Google's working on it, especially with the move in Pixel to create their own silicon. That's not just a bet to work on smartphones, I would think, for the future. Certainly Snap with their glasses and already sort of the lenses they have in their Snap app. I spoke to Evan Spiegel about this a couple of weeks ago, and he was very clear. he didn't really like the word metaverse because he said, well, that's sort of an escape from the real world. I want to build software that overlays the real world.